Good morning, traders, and welcome back to the Trader Bacon Show. I'm your host, Gates Adams, and we have an exciting show lined up for you today. I just want a couple of quick things. Of course, we had some winners from last week's episode of the evaluations. We have Astrid, Valencia, and Shaq. Shaq is spelled differently, so I don't think we have any basketball players trading evaluations today, at least based on those evaluations. Again, just a solid congratulations to Apex Trader Funding. Over $315 million paid out to traders. It's just an amazing thing that they've built and created, and such an invaluable resource for traders. I know I talk about them a lot. Obviously, they sponsor the show, but there's absolutely just a tremendous amount of love for Apex and what they've done. And absolutely make sure you get these evaluations, these forms filled out to have your chance at winning one of those 3 free evaluations that we will be giving away based on today's show. Now, I have to say, one of the dynamics of doing a live show and having guests is that things happen. And the guest that I actually had lined up for today was unable to do the show. He actually had some impact from the hurricane. And so I want to take a moment to, and he's okay. He's actually a lineman, so he's actually one of the guys that's taking care of a lot of the problems that are taking place around where he lives. But I just want to let y'all know my heart goes out to all of those people that are impacted by that, and definitely sending prayers for as easy a transition and comeback as easily as possible. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. Now, the fortunate thing is we have so many fun and successful and engaging traders that we work with, that we had an opportunity to fill somebody in really easily. And so, and I'm super, super excited. We try to have a variety of different guests. Today, we are moving back over to Europe in Germany. Today's trader is living in Germany now. And he's got some exciting stories to tell, a lot of great knowledge, wisdom, and experience that he's getting to share with you guys. So just let's welcome today Gabriele on today's episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Are you ready? Because the Trader Bacon Show starts right now. Gabriele, how are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you, Gates. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for stepping up. You know, we usually try to have these lined up a little ahead of time, and sometimes that just becomes an impossibility. And for you to just jump in and step in after a quick phone call on Saturday, getting a chance to have you on the show is just such an honor and a privilege, and I appreciate you taking the time to do so.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks to the Trader Bacon cast. I'm really looking forward for this interview. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, I have been too. So let's get a little background on you, man. How long have you been trading at this point?
Yeah, I'm pretty old. I started sometimes in '89. I made already the first bubble, Nasdaq bubble, and then I went through all of this, and was another kind of trading. I was more kind of investing, and then I started again all over in the first years of 2000, okay. And then again somewhere 2011, 2012. And now it's such a beautiful thing to have the possibility to trade with prop firms, to gain a financial freedom to trade and to have much more confidence on what we are doing.
Absolutely, and that's really kind of the whole point. There's so many opportunities available with that. Now, you've kind of gone through the gamut, and obviously you didn't always trade this way, and with the time span that you've been trading, there's obviously been a lot of just differences in the market and what's available and that kind of thing. So how, like what actually started you on the journey of trading? What brought you into this in the first place?
Yeah, many things. First of all, the intellectual challenge. Mm-hmm. I find it very interesting. To understand the mechanic of the market. Mm-hmm. This is obviously a personal interest, and then there's personal improvement because I think I still do believe that trading offers a unique possibility to improve the visual of things. You just be confronted on yourself, on your mistakes, on your success, and you have to manage this very, very carefully. And this is all in a kind of box where the environment is acting on that, and you cannot control much, and you have to live with that. And then obviously there's a third point is financial freedom, to have the possibility to meet and to enjoy this financial freedom through the gain with trading.
Absolutely. Well, you make an interesting point. I've often thought that the way we are as traders is often a mirror to the way that we are in the rest of our lives, more so than another job or another business that one might own. That the discipline that we show in trading is reflected in the rest of our lives. I think, and vice versa. It's a very different beast, really, than a lot of other ways of earning a living. And mastery, if that can even be achieved in the world of trading, I think is just a great indication of who and what somebody is in the rest of their lives. Now, as you've gone through this process, trading isn't all you do for a living, right? You have a traditional career.
Yeah, I do have a traditional jobs. I do many things. I play the guitar, as you can see here.
I love it.
I do many things, and I dedicate some times per week to trading. And it's not something you don't build Rome in a day. It's something that I built up in many years of experience, and now I can profit from that.
And it is an ongoing journey. And for some people, a couple years into it, they're at a great place. And some of us, myself included, we're decades into the thing. And for me, it was definitely off and on, and more off than it was on. But as you progress and as you grow and as you develop, you start to see different opportunities. Now, when you first started trading, did you trade futures or were you trading other instruments?
I only trade futures.
Always futures right off the bat. I love that. That's actually a rarity. I very rarely run into somebody who started and stayed, and that's all they've done.
Yeah, I only trade futures. I believe that if you want to do it seriously, you have to trade futures in a regulated market, and where you can access volume data. I think I actually don't see any other option, but obviously I respect any other solution.
Sure. Well, and that's the thing. Trading is a very personal journey, and people find what works for them. I know that I have gravitated very aggressively towards futures, and a lot of that has to do with the mentors and the guidance that I had early on. But looking at it objectively, to me, that's just the one that makes the most sense. And for me, that I don't know, it's definitely a stronger appeal. So at this point, how has your strategy developed over really a couple of decades worth of experience and growth and development, off and on, part-time or full-time as it may be? How have you developed what it is that you trade?
Yeah, it was a kind of like a sculpture. You have a piece of marble, and you take away what you don't need, and then in the end you have a representation of what you want. I took away instruments that were not for me. I took away setups that were not for me. I took away let's say for example, ways of trading, of going overnight or the weekend, or taking positions, and I just left what really suits for me, and that is a very short time frame trading.
Sure.
Which I'm not committed to take positions for a long period of time, and mostly only on one or two instruments. That is the future on Nasdaq 100 NQ, and on SP future ES, and with their relative micro contracts.
Sure.
And this is mostly what I'm doing. Let's say 100% of 90% of the time now.
Sure. And I think that's a great point, because it's not uncommon for traders, especially in the beginning stages, to become overwhelmed by the different types of information that's out there. I mean, we can go into supply and demand, we can go into ICT, we can go into every friggin' indicator on the planet, and there's just so much out there. And let's face reality. Some strategies are going to work for some traders and some strategies are not. And I think a lot of that comes down to the personality of the trader and their mindset, I guess, if you will. And so I think your strategy is a great one, because once you've been, I guess, presented with as many options as possible, then you can narrow down and figure out what works best for you. So, that being said, why don't we take a look at some charts here and see what has developed over the last couple of decades, and see what's actually been working for you to this level of success as a futures trader.
Yeah. This is what I'm looking right now while I speak with you. We can see my chart where is the real chart where I trade. I have more screen, but this one is the one, the operative one.
Sure.
And I have on the right side the NQ,
right,
and with some levels. We can see here the maximum, the top made last week, and we have here the minimum we had, the bottom we had last week.
Sure.
And I follow this one in 1 hourly chart, so I can see we are here, and then I have the FAO web, an indication, but I don't use it very much actually. I just more kind of indication. This is a weekly web, and here I have the delta indications, and this gives me a kind of way where we are going. And but if we go on the more operative side, for me it's very important to be to perform a due preparation to the day.
Sure.
And for me it's really very important. For example, what I prepared for today. And this is what I do every day. I prepare for trading, and this morning I started to think what is the environment today. We are at the end of the month. We know about this JPM collar in ES. We know that Chairman Powell is going to speak this evening. We know about geopolitical problems that might influence the market. And for me, it's really very important to decide whether the market is going to be flow driven or technical driven. That means, is it going to flow the market, or we are going to fade levels? Okay. So it means, should I provide liquidity to the market, or should I take liquidity? Should I enter with limit order? Should I enter with the market order? And for example, today I've written, I don't know. Today I'm not sure about how it's going to be. There are days in which I'm pretty sure, and so I stay flexible for today. And then I have a kind of picture of the volatility of the market for today. The VIX and the implied volatility for the day, that is quite increased from the bottom we had last week. And we are in a positive gamma condition according to the option chain for the NQ. So, I mean, we know that the market maker is going to fade levels and not to, to sell deep and to buy tops. So it's might be sticky, and this is until more or less 2075 for NQ. So I said, a possible scenario might be to go down to 575 ES, and then there to reduce volatility. But as I said, this is a preparation, and everything I think in trading has to be taken with a probability point of view. It might be this or might be the contrary. Maybe we are 50-50. We have to manage the risk, and we don't know what happened, because otherwise we would be millionaire. We wouldn't need to do anything else.
I love to always joke how if there was that perfect strategy, we would have all found it by now, because it would be on the internet, and then we'd all be sipping Mai Tais on our private islands. Obviously, it takes more than that. And I love the work that you show going into the charts. I know, the different people have a different take on that preparatory step. And, I like to balance out that little bit of preparation that I'm comfortable with versus, the read of the market when it's in motion. But I love the idea of just having a better idea of what kind of a target we're looking for, because then you can see it happening in real time as a level of confirmation versus just the confirmations you're going to see on the chart. Is that a pretty good, fair assessment of what you're seeing?
Yeah, exactly. Very good point. I mean, for example, we can see here, this is the minimum intraday. This is a 5-minute chart of today. This is tonight, and we started here, and this is the minimum. I don't believe in levels, because something has to happen. But you see that the market, after the cash opening in the US, has tried again this level. And if we look at what was going on there, we can see in the cluster, we can see that there was a clear reaction here.
Right.
The market reacted to this minimum of the day, and it was here, and it was pretty strong, and we had a reaction. I was not able to take it because I was not at desk, but it would have been a pretty good, a good probability trade, maybe, and you can manage the risk very well in this case, because just put the stop here.
Right. You've got not a whole lot of room there, so that
because if you see active buyers here on the minimum, and if this scenario doesn't evolve as you wish, you can always put a stop here, and you just exit the trade. You have a minimum risk, and you can obviously, if the points you risk are low, you can increase the size, and it means that if the market goes in your direction, you can make money.
Right.
And this is a very strong point. But I was not able to take that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got to be at the screens to really see the opportunities. Now, this is a great example of how you might select an entry. Now, just seeing the reaction to a certain level or whatever the case may be, and obviously the information that you're working with there is more than just the candlestick. You're seeing the volume at each price point and the value that brings. For you, is this a typical way that you determine your entry, or are you looking for a variety of different things? Like, do you have 3 different entries that you use, or is it just one where you're reacting off of a particular level based on your evaluation?
Yeah, in a very simplified way, I look what the market, the actors are doing in proximity of these levels.
Right.
And I looked at the let's say an order floor, you can call it the interaction between buyers and sellers at these levels, and something should happen. Either the big question is at a certain level, do we have a breakout or a fading of the level?
Right.
And this is the question we have to, and we look at the interaction, and we can bet, let's say, because in the end it's a bet, and it's a managed bet on breaking or fading a level. And this is basically what I mean. Analyzing the interaction, you can move the probability in your favor.
Right.
And this is basically in a very, very simplified way what I'm doing.
Well, and again, that's really all we're trying to do. And yes, trading often gets compared to gambling, and yes, there's winning and losing trades, which can be equated. But I think that if we ever get to that point, it's got to be closest to poker, because through the development of skill is how you build your edge.
Yeah.
Competent poker player will always win in the long run. They're not going to win every hand. They're certainly not even going to win every table, but they're going to earn money in the long run. And I think that this is a great example for how we build ourselves as traders. We can build the skill, we can build the experience, we can spend the time in the charts that give us the confidence when we see a move to say, you know what, this looks like it's going to break through, or this looks like it's going to turn around. Having the ability to see that based on experience is really what's going to give us that better chance. And that's all it is. It's a game of probabilities. And if you can manage the probabilities in your favor, you don't have to make a mint on every single trade. And you certainly don't have to win every single trade.
That's the point. That's the point. And this is, you have to work on two aspects. One is to improve your edge. And this is by studying, by experience, and by testing. And the other one is by becoming stronger, knowing how it is to lose, how it is to win, and to live with that. This is in the end, for me, is the most actually exciting part of trading. Right. To be and this also brings a way of seeing things that impact also your life, as we said before.
Sure. Well, and you made a comment there, and I just don't want to let this slip by. We've got to learn how to win, which I don't think is the toughest thing to learn, but we also have to learn how to lose, meaning that we have to have parameters in our world that says, look, I'm going to lose X amount on any given day. If I lose more than that, then I'm out for the day. Or, because I can't tell you how many traders I've talked to, worked with, and had interviews with where the general experience as somebody's coming up as a trader is you can, have winning days 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, and then you have one losing day and you lose all of it in one shot. And that doesn't come down to skill. That doesn't come down to, selecting the best trades. That comes down to the discipline to make the decisions outside of the trade so that you're not in a trade you shouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely, Gates. This is a really it's one of the most important part of trader development. To lose, to learn how to lose. You have to. I always say to myself, when you lose, don't lose much. And this is the more. I think if you want to summarize what I should say to a trader that is learning, I would say simply this: if you lose, don't lose much. Right. And I think is a very powerful mantra, if you want, because you can really build a lot of strategy, a lot of P&L curve on that. Right. When you lose, don't lose much.
Right. I mean, the reality is, technically speaking, you can be a very skilled trader and lose money if you just don't have the discipline to handle the losses as well as managing the wins.
Yeah, absolutely. This is you can have the best edge. You can even have 75% positive rate.
But
you won't bring anything. We all know. We all went through that.
Right. So let's shift gears here a little bit, because you mentioned, of course, you've got a traditional career that you work, you trade on the side, you have been for pretty long time at this point. What does trading bring to your world that really just wouldn't be there if you didn't have the opportunity to trade the way that you do?
Yeah, I mean, I would be a liar if it wasn't financial freedom.
There's a reason we trade.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
The other aspect is to have the possibility really to face this part of me, and to go into a personal development. That through trading is possible, and it is also measurable. Because it's not a kind of, you see it from your P&L curve. But I mean, you have a direct feedback of if you are sticking to your discipline and to your plan or not. And this is a pretty nice, way of developing their own personality to start to think always in terms of risk reward. This is a very nice, and let's say trading with prop firms and especially with Apex, it's amazing because you have all these possibility enhanced, because you don't have the problem of risking your own capital, your own money. And this is what makes so nice to have this partnership.
I love it. So let me ask you something, because we've talked about the mirror aspect of being a trader and being able to see the rest of your life through the actions that you take as a trader. Outside of the financial side of it, outside of your actual growth as a trader, how has trading impacted the rest of your life in some form or fashion, or have you seen it impact your life in any meaning?
Yeah, absolutely. I need to be to care about to be sharp, and so very, very stupidly, you cannot drink, you cannot you have to maintain your brain at a sharp level to be able to analyze, but even more to stick to your discipline, to your plan. Sure. And this is very it builds a virtuous cycle that brings you to stay away from stupid things in life that can impact your possibility to be sharp. Sure. And clever. And this is a great feedback that has also my family is enjoyed this way of living, that through trading. Again, the possibility to have a financial freedom for me and for my family. This is absolutely a great opportunity.
I love it. Well, man, it has absolutely been such a pleasure having you on the show, and just learning from the level of experience that you've brought to this world of trading, to your family, and now even to the show, as the crow says. Well said, Gabriele. So that was fantastic, man. I love the different insights and the different perspectives, and we've got like you and I are pretty close to the same age. And, we've had some young guys who have a different perspective, and we've even had some older guys that, are folks, I should say, not all guys, but the level of perspective from a European standpoint, from an American standpoint, from an age standpoint, all of these things I think come into play. And the common denominator being that journey it just has an impact on everything that you do. And I don't really know a whole lot of traders that are successful traders that don't have a higher level of happiness in the rest of their lives. And it's not just because of the financial rewards. I think that's a meaningful, like I said, a meaningful comparison. So thank you so much for sharing some insight and wisdom with us today. I do want to remind all of you out there in comment land, make sure to fill out the form. We're giving away 3 evaluations through the show. So take a minute to fill that out. You will be notified by the end of the week if you are one of the lucky winners. We will have another phenomenal show for you guys next week. I am hoping we can get Mitch on next week. Hopefully the challenges that he's facing and the work that he's doing starts to become a little bit more minimal. If not, we will absolutely have another phenomenal guest. Great guests like Gabriele are always around, and definitely I love the variety of people that we get to have here on the show. I'm stumbling over my words today. I don't know why, but I appreciate you guys hanging with us, and we'll see you on next week's episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Thanks for joining the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting